So I'm dealing with an awful lot of inflammation. Now that could be because there's been a change in the weather. It could be because my stress level is higher. It could be because it's been raining, and so I'm not going to risk going out for that 8-kilometer walk. So there's changes that are taking place in my health and in my exercise and things like that. And so I've been experiencing some health issues, a little bit of inflammation. I'm not too concerned about the inflammation because of the fact that I think it quite possibly is from, I bought some granola bars, chocolate granola bars from the dollar store. I had the chicken spaghetti the other day, and spaghetti sauce has got a lot of sugar in it, things like that, right? So I do realize that I might be doing this to myself, but I still have to take care of myself. So, I was actually at the library the other day, and I got a whole bunch of magazines. I got tons of them. The one that I particularly like, I like this one. It's called Prevention. And I think the one that I was really interested, and there's a few of them that I've been reading, and the one that I'm really, really interested in is, I think it's June 24, the June 24 edition, and it talks about healing your body by food, and it's a girl by the name of Alyssa Jung who wrote the article. And now I don't know what, if she's a doctor, a holistic practitioner, I don't know what she really does, but all of her information is seconded by research and stuff. She's got like the links below the article. So I read the article and I kind of made a few notes because I just found it really interesting, because a lot of this I do now, right? I do it now. So I had absolutely no idea about some of this stuff, but it does say that the body systems are linked to our gut microbiome, okay? And a healthy gut lining makes it easier for your body to absorb all the nutrients and minerals that you need from your food, okay? So the body can then utilize them. But I also didn't know that 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. I didn't know that, had no idea. And there's a thing called the gut-brain axis. So the brain actually connects to the gut. Yeah, it connects to the gut, and they talk to each other, like literally, We're like living, breathing ecosystems inside of ecosystems inside of ecosystems. So our whole body is made up of live cells that literally have to communicate with each other in order to heal our body and to keep us healthy. So I thought that was really interesting, but so there's good bacteria and then there's bad bacteria. And you can have an overabundance of one or the other, and possibly an overabundance of bad bacteria by not eating the right foods, eating a lot of sugar, things like that, eating a lot of trans fats, okay? Omega-6s are horrendous for that. So the brain and the gut literally talk to each other, okay? Now the gut plays a role in regulating your hormones, and that impacts, as a woman, your menstrual cycle and menopause. And I've been through both of those, but I don't remember. I've been through the age category where I would get both those things, but I no longer experience menses. I don't remember ever going through menopause. Never. There was no weight gain. There was no fluctuations. There was no hot flashes. None of that. Now, I know when the kids were little and I would have been going through menopause, I was very, very active. And I was on a smaller scale. I wasn't a big girl. It was a smaller scale. And I kept very fit, right? So I did a lot of exercise with the kids, and we joined groups. We used to play football at the high school, and I kept them active. So that could be why I didn't really experience menopause. Now, menses. Okay, so I was one of these girls that my periods were painful. They were heavy. They were like over the top. It was over the top. It was the worst period in my life. It was the worst time in my life, because I never owned a pair of white pants. Never did until I was done menopause, right? Because I couldn't. And I had very untimely menses. I never really had a regular schedule that I could like adhere to, that like, I knew I had to buy pads for a certain period of time during the month. Now, you fellas mightn't be interested in this, but girls, you might be, and that could be affected by your gut microbiome. That's what could be causing those issues with heavy, painful periods. Yeah, so, and there's a couple of reasons for that. And we'll get into it once I get into the article. Okay, so if your gut microbiome are not balanced with the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, okay, there has to be a level. There has to be an equal level. And if they're not balanced, harmful bacteria will take over and create inflammation. And on my journey, I had inflammation that would form right under here, and it was like a big roll. It's like a big roll that would just kind of pop out at any point in time. Inflammation can cause wrinkles. Inflammation can cause hair loss. Inflammation can cause dementias. Chronic inflammation will cause cancer, or can contribute to cancer, I should say, to the getting of cancer. So, now I lost my train of thought. But if they're not balanced, okay, so the harmful bacteria will climb the ladder, right? They will climb the ladder. They will create inflammation, and that will lead to gastrointestinal issues such as irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, heartburn, diarrhea, bloating. Okay, those are all inflammation issues, and if that inflammation becomes chronic, so let's say you're not eating the proper foods, you're not exercising, you're turning into a bit of a couch potato, and you're not getting the minerals and vitamins that your body needs, and you're not replenishing those gut microbiome you are depleting through taking medication, even cough medications such as losartan and hydrochloroside, I think it's called, water pills. A lot of women use the water pills to lose weight. You don't need to use water pills to lose weight. But all I'm saying to you is, if you're taking those things, they will deplete your microbiome. Whether you need them or you don't need them, that's not up to me, and I'm not questioning that. You do what you got to do. And if you have a doctor and they prescribe you with those medications, then you do what your doctor says. I'm not influencing that in any way. All I'm saying is that if you do not replenish your gut microbiome, and your gut microbiome will die from many things. They will be destroyed through medications, through drug addiction, through alcohol, through obesity, through diabetes, through like your diet, your stress level, your mind, okay? Your gut microbiome can be affected by stress. Yeah, it can. Very much so. Okay, so then the article was talking about how important it is to take good care and feed your microbiome in your stomach, in your gut, the things that it needs. Now, I have done a lot of research on this because this is how I healed my body, okay? And that's how I lost the 75 pounds. So I'm pretty up on this. So there's 3 things, okay, that are really really important when you're thinking about feeding your gut microbiome, okay? So the first one is a prebiotic. And the prebiotic is basically an indigestible fiber, okay? And that will feed the probiotic, okay? So that's kind of like a kickstart for the probiotic. So first you need a prebiotic. And you can use garlic, onions, bananas, asparagus, honey, spices, cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, oregano, those type of things. And they will act as a kickstart to the probiotic. So they will act as a prebiotic. Okay, so spices and garlic, onions, bananas, asparagus, and honey. Those are just some examples. Okay, then the prebiotics will feed the probiotics. Now a probiotic will populate your gut with good bacteria. And our bodies are made up of virus and bacteria and things like that. And you need those things in your body, okay? So it will populate your gut with good bacteria. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do that. And I use almost all these methods and have used almost all these methods at differing times. Right now, what I use is kefir, live active kefir. I also use live and active cultured yogurt. So I buy a lot of the Greek yogurt, fermented foods, aged cheese, kimchi, kombucha, things like that. Now, in yogurt, the active live yogurt, okay, will contain two of these, and these are bacteria. Now, I haven't memorized it yet, so it's S. thermophilus and L. bulgarius. Okay, so those are two of the bacteria that are in live active yogurt, and you need the live active yogurt. Okay, you don't need the yogurt where everything is like just kind of stagnant. Okay, so I did try goat kefir. I hated it. Oh, I hated it. It's so thick and it's almost globule, right? But it has a high amount of active and live bacteria. So probiotics, we'll go through it again because I yuck. So yogurt, kefir, kimchi, kombucha, live and cultured yogurts. Okay, so then we move to fiber. Okay, fiber. Fiber is essential. It's essential for regularity and cleansing of the body because it cleans out all that duct work, right? That lead to the end result. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so, and where you're going to get those type of fibers that you need is nuts, seeds, legumes, whole grains, or other sources of fiber. Now, the prebiotics are indigestible fiber, okay? And then you've got the fibers that are essential for cleaning out those ductwork that lead to the essential bowel movement, okay? So, and then I was reading part of the article, and the article was talking about inflammation. Now, I'm really interested in the inflammation because a lot of my illness was caused by inflammation, okay? And inflammation is not a bad thing. It's nothing to be scared of because it's your body's automatic, natural defense system. It's like as soon as there's something in your body that doesn't sit right with these little cells in your body, the red flags go up and they go, oh, there's something going on over there. We got to go check it out. We got to cleanse. We got to, it's like a group of soldiers running to a spot to make sure everything's safe and kosher, right? So inflammation's not bad. It's a natural way for the body to defend itself, okay? And what happens is all the cells will go and they will congregate around the injury or the source of injury or the invading cells, whether it be bacteria from an infection or whatever. So all these cells will gather around, right? They'll gather around and they'll form almost like a circle and they will close in on the offending parties or the offending cells, right? And then there is a lot of the times you will get heat, okay? You will feel hot flashes. You will feel hot around the spot where the injury is because that's all the blood cells are kind of congregating around there, and it creates a heat. Okay, so you'll feel heat, you'll feel swelling of the area, and that's when it will swell around the site of injury to provide protection for the injury while it's being healed by the body's defense forces, okay? So it's really amazing to look at this in detail, to look at it as actually a living ecosystem instead of just our bodies. Our bodies have their own sustenance. Our bodies have their own communication system, and they don't tell us. Okay, but they talk to each other. They talk to each other and say, you know what, we got to take care of this, right? So it's really fascinating to see it. Now, chronic inflammation will happen when your bodies are in a constant state of alertness, and this can be created by a lot of things. Cancers, okay? Stress causes or will contribute to cancers, and I believe this. And I've had three bouts of cancer, melanoma and carcinoma. And I'll tell you, there's nothing more scary than having someone tell you you have cancer. And it doesn't matter what type of cancer it is. The word cancer itself is a scary word in my vocabulary. I have had many family members die from cancer, and I have witnessed them suffer immensely with cancer. and with the treatment that is provided to get rid of the cancer. So, but chronic inflammation will happen when your body is constantly on alert and having to constantly, take care and protect the body. It will get worn out, okay? Now, like I said, a big one is stress. Another one is poor diet, trans fats, sugars, okay? Even some wholesome foods, if you overdo it on them, they can become inflammatory. So I'll give you an example. I was on a blood thinner many years ago for my heart attack. No, my last stroke. And they had me on blood thinners. They had me on water pills, calcium channel blockers, ACE inhibitors. I had this big long list, okay? And I was trying to get healthy, and I was trying to eat properly. And so a friend of mine had an organization that I belonged to. They had kale from their garden, their community garden. And so they brought me a massive, and I mean a massive bag of kale. And I thought, geez, what am I going to do with this, right? I want to eat it, but but I was taking a blood thinner, and I never thought of it when I was researching the foods I was eating, that kale is very high in vitamin K. And vitamin K is and drinking the kale in large amounts, and I was taking a medication, and the two didn't mix, okay? The two didn't mix. So you have to be very careful what medications you take with certain foods, right? So the fact that I get a lot of deep lines, I know when I'm dehydrated. So I take a little bit of Himalayan salt, I put it on the tip of my tongue, and then I drink my water. So that helps, and it's been helping. So yeah, so okay, so dehydration is a very, very important factor because your gut microbiome needs fluid. And the reason it needs fluid is because, let's say you're taking high amounts of fiber, okay? If you up your fiber intake, you have to up your fluid intake, okay? There has to be a balance. If you have too much fiber and not enough fluid, you're going to become constipated. You're going to have gastrointestinal problems. You're going to have possibly IBS. You're going to have all sorts of issues that are dealing with the fact that you're having to you're constipated. You're not able to, cleanse the body correctly. So you have to be very, very careful of that. Now, the article I was reading gave some ways to combat all this inflammation, okay? And there's a couple of things. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 things. Excuse me. There's 5 things. So if you want to combat inflammation, look to bright foods, okay? Bright foods, colorful foods, berries, apples, cabbage, carrots, broccoli, beets, bell peppers. And the reason why is because they're very, very rich in antitoxins and other anti-inflammatory compounds. So it will help you battle that inflammation that you get, okay? Fiber-filled foods, okay? So foods high in fiber are very, very good probiotic foods, and because they give a good steady flow of bacteria to the gut. So beans, lentils, whole grains will feed your good gut bacteria. And I do all of them. I put lentils in my soup. I put black beans and red kidney beans in my chilies and my spaghettis, okay, my sauces. And then healthy fats. That's the third one, healthy fats. Polyunsaturated fats, okay? And monounsaturated fats will decrease inflammation. A big one is omega-3. Omega-3, and I swear by it because I had some problems with my gingivitis and my gums were swelling up, they were receding, and I thought I've got to do something because I can't afford to get a false plate of teeth, and I don't have dental coverage. So I read about the omega-3s being able to regenerate tissue, and I thought, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So I've been doing it for about a month and a half. And the inflammation I had, the redness I had, and the little pockets I had in this one tooth particular right here, it looks like it has like, I don't know if this is possible, but it looks like it's regrown. It looks like the tooth is stronger in the socket than it was before. Before it was starting to, like, there was like a big, what do they call it? It's almost like a crater. There was like a big crater in my gum. And the eye tooth in the front looked like it was pushing up, right? So now that I've been using the omega-3s and I open them up, I cut the capsule out, open at the end, and then I literally just pour it in my gum line, and I leave it there. And you're not going to believe this, but it doesn't, like, I don't lose it. It absorbs into the gum line, and I'm telling you, the redness is gone out of my gums. The inflammation is gone. So I truly, truly believe that one. I truly believe that. Okay, so they give green light fats, okay, so healthy fats. So the green light fats are salmon, trout, nuts and seeds, olives, avocado, and olive oil. I use all of those except for avocado. I can't afford them. So olive oil, I buy salmon. I buy the tinned salmon because I heard that the salmon fillets are just loaded with worms, yeah. So at least the canned salmon is heated in that production, and it's a production. It's heated to a high temperature, and so it kills those worms that are naturally inherent in the salmon, okay? So, and it's the same with tuna too, by the way. Okay, and olive oil, that's all I use. I don't use corn oil. I don't use anything but extra virgin olive oil. So, okay, so then the next one is eat magnesium-rich foods. There are a couple of magnesium. I take magnesium glycinate, okay, because it's good for my heart. And it seems to be working because I don't have the bouts of heaviness on my chest anymore that I had prior when I was taking the magnesium oxide, okay? So I take magnesium glycinate. Magnesium-rich foods will fight inflammation. They're very hard-working and high-level working antitoxins. So the foods that you would find them in would be spinach, and I love spinach, so I have tons of it in my freezer. I buy it in the little squares at the store here. Pumpkin seeds. I bought pumpkin seeds at a dollar store. They lasted me like 3 months. Yeah, but they're good. You only need a small handful in your salad, and there you go. And that's magnesium. Brown rice, I use brown rice flour for all my breads, all my crackers, all those things. So I don't use white flour anymore. I use brown rice flour, high in magnesium. Okay, black beans, I use a lot of black beans. The food bank sometimes will give me black beans. And red kidney beans are amazing also. Almonds, avocados, bananas, and dark chocolate. Now, the bananas that I've been buying from my store, the store that I frequent, they're rubbery. It doesn't even taste like bananas. It tastes like rubber. It's got no taste to it. It's kind of like yucky. So I don't really buy the bananas anymore. I was thinking of what I was going to do is buy the dehydrated bananas and see how they taste. Because the ordinary bananas, I can't stand them. They taste awful. The ones that are dark and spoiling, they have a better taste to them. So I had some bananas, and what I did is I took the potato masher and I mashed it and I put it in a plastic bag in the freezer, and then I can make banana bread or banana muffins with it. But I'm not too keen on bananas. And dark chocolate, well, dollar store, the dark chocolate is amazing. So, okay, and the very last one that you should be concentrating on is herbs and spices, because they are very anti-inflammatory. So making a tea with, oregano, with sage, with cinnamon, okay? I put cinnamon in with my kefir. So it works as a probiotic or a prebiotic. Kefir is the probiotic. And it also is anti-inflammatory. So I'm kind of beating all those odds at one time with one bottle of kefir and cinnamon. So herbs and spices are very anti-inflammatory. Now, The last page that I am going to talk about on this video is they give the 5 F's of gut health, okay? Okay, so digestion begins in the mouth, okay? So it says, chew your food fully. Don't just gulp it down. Don't just, right? Chew it, because digestion begins in the mouth. And the acids in the saliva, that's what helps break down your food in the first process, okay? Secondly, focus on fiber. You need to have 30 grams of fiber every day, okay? As fuel for your good bacteria. So fiber is the fuel. The third one, fluids. And I told you this one already. If you consume more fiber, you need to drink more fluid, okay? And that is for digestive tract cleaning, okay? So one is to help break down digestion, okay, chew your food. The second one is fuel. The third one is digestive tract cleaning. The fourth one, okay, you need to fortify your friendly bacteria. You need to replenish your friendly bacteria that are in your gut microbiome that you may destroy by drinking too much coffee or smoking or drinking alcohol or doing illicit drugs or eating sugar or eating trans fats, okay, or just having a poor diet in general. Stress. So you need to fortify. You need to replenish those gut microbiome. And the research says, in this article, says 6 or more servings of fermented foods daily will improve your gut health dramatically. And I know that. I'm living proof of this because I drink 6 ounces of kefir in the morning. When I have the money and I have enough kefir bottled up, I can have, 6 ounces in the morning, 6 ounces at night. So 12 ounces of kefir a day. But also on top of that, I use sour cream. I use active yogurt. I use cottage cheese. I use fermented, what's it called? Aged cheese. Aged cheese. Yeah, so I eat a lot of that. What else? I eat a lot of onions. Onions are my mainstay because it has quercetin in it. So I eat a lot of them, and they're amazing foods for your gut microbiome. Okay, so, and what else? Kimchi, kombucha. You can make fermented drinks. You can make sauerkraut. I used to make my own sauerkraut, and it turned out pretty good. And all I would use would be a bag of the coleslaw that you can buy from the store that has the carrots and the celery and all that in it. And then I would just rub some salt on it, put it in a glass bottle, put a stopper on top, one of those rubber stoppers, press it down, and the salt will literally pull the moisture out of the product. And that's how you make your sauerkraut. That's how you make it. It's not that difficult. Okay, number 5. Another thing you need to do, the 5 F's, okay? The last one is fitness. So, and I do that. And it says 30 to 90 minutes, 3 times a week allows for positive gut bacterial changes in your gut microbiome. And I do that. I walk 8 kilometers a day when I can, the weather or the neighborhood permitting, because I was attacked on one of my walks at one point in time. So I have to be very vigilant. I am a senior, and sometimes the battle's not worth the win. So these are all things that I do. These are all things that I read in the article and that are very important, okay? So, and aid the replenishment of that gut microbiome and keep your gut microbiome in good shape, I mean, they take care of us, so you got to take care of them. So I shall see you in the next video. The good Lord be willing.